Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a model in stainless steel launched for 2019, 41 millimeters. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15500ST. It features the lovely and relatively scarce blue galvanized dial, a classic combination with stainless steel, a 41 millimeter case that's 10.5 millimeters thick, and as you can see, a 50.5 millimeters lug to lug. If you include these little intermediate plot links, the absolute rigid distance across the wrist is a bit larger at 52.8 millimeters. So I always like to say that these watches, Royal Oaks in general, they wear larger than their rated size. So you really need to think of this as more of a 43. It's more of a junior offshore than a large jumbo. So as you can see, the timepiece is broad and flat, but it is broad and it does push right out to the edge of my wrist. So I recommend a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference or larger for this timepiece. You get a good sense of it in scale from over the top, from down the barrel, and then of course the cuff shot showing you that it does slide pretty easily underneath a tight sleeve. Taking a look at the bracelet and the clasp, there's a lot to love here. Now, it takes 9 to 11 hours to manually finish all of the links and components of a Royal Oak bracelet in steel. So you really are getting what you pay for with this bracelet, and it's really what's outside the watch more than what's inside that adds up to the total cost. You can see the bevel perfectly aligned across the shoulders, vertical satin finish on the sides, longitudinal across the top. You can see those little intermediate plots. They have polished outer faces that are only visible as you roll the bracelet through the light. And then you can see, unlike Patek, AP still builds its removable link bracelets with removable links fixed by screws, not pin sleeves. The clasp has a combination of media blasting and satination, and it's rather impressive in its structural integrity. This actually feels more like an offshore grade clasp, and it has that kind of security on the wrist. Now, the timepiece features a case and bezel just as handsomely and thoughtfully finished as the bracelet. You can see Gerald Genta's 1972 design continues mostly intact, albeit on a larger scale. You can see that hairline expression of the bezel gasket, the character lines that run through the edges of the bezel through the mid-case into the case back, the contrast between polished diminishing bevels and the satin finish on the lug hoods and the flanks, and of course the rounded off octagonal bezel, originally inspired by a vintage diving helmet. You have these little polished hexagonal white gold bolts inside the stainless steel bezel, and you can see that its sides are polished, its top is vertical satin grained, and then we do have a screw down crown that's hexagonal like the bolts, and that endows the watch with 50 meters of water resistance. And I like to say 50 meters and up with a screw down crown is surface swimmable, so that's your guideline for water use. Now, the blue galvanized dial, which since 2012 has been made in-house by AP, is fascinating in two respects. First, it is galvanized blue, which has a higher rejection rate and can be a little bit tougher to achieve. Historically, these were retained for AP boutiques and a few premier dealers. Today, AP's closing most of its independent dealers, so I expect, like most Audemars Piguet watches, the blue dial Royal Oak will be almost entirely boutique soon. You can also see that it is a tapisserie, Grande Tapisserie. The Petite Tapisserie is what you see on the jumbo. The Mega Tapisserie is on the offshore. So you have this hobnail pattern that's actually etched using a mimicry engine from the 19th century. It's called a pantograph. It takes a big template that has all of the textures and forms of the dial, and then it transcribes the details of that template onto a small brass blank that becomes this dial. You have white gold AP logo, hands, as well as stick indices. Note that for the 15500, there is less on the dial. We don't need to know the watch is automatic. We already bought the watch. We understand this. So it's a cleaner, more open, uncluttered dial. And of course, as all Royal Oaks since 2012, the date disc is the same color as the dial. Turn it all over, and new for 2019 was a new movement. Lost in the uproar over the code 1159 was the fact that many of the same movements were going to be ported over to the Royal Oaks. So here you have the 4302. It's an automatic winder with a 70-hour reserve. It's bigger than the previous, a 3120, so it better fills this large case back. The movement's better sized to fit the case. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so it's a higher beat rate. This is 4 hertz. The old movement was 3 hertz. It still has a full balance bridge and a free-sprung index for shock tolerance. And then, of course, it features hacking or stop seconds and a quick set date, and that 70-hour power reserve is the big upgrade because the old movement was 60 hours. You wind up with a movement that, like FP Journe, Jaeger Le Culte Zenith Glasuta Original, is a combination of hand finishing and mechanical finishing, and it is a very good looking movement. Architecturally, it's quite handsome. This is a timepiece that fires on all cylinders. Handsome, classic, and unlikely ever to look dated. It's essentially an eternal and an immortal and one of the greats of the industry. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm back with the Royal Oak 15500 by night.